Wilbert Montgomery was resilient. A career built on toughness, Montgomery's path to the NFL was anything but traditional. A Mississippi native, Montgomery was a standout two-way player and track athlete at Greenville High School. After visiting a number of colleges, he decided to attend Jackson State as a safety, joining a loaded roster that had a stable of running backs led by future Hall of Famer Walter Payton. Following an injury to Walter, the coaches switched Montgomery to running back, a move he was not happy about, and prompted him to transfer to Abilene Christian in Texas, where he was promised a starting role. The move paid off for both parties immediately, as Montgomery scored a touchdown the first time he touched the ball. He went on to rush for 1,181 yards and scored a nation-leading 37 touchdowns, which were a freshman, school, and NAIA record. Behind Montgomery, ACU finished 11-1 and went on to win the NAIA National Championship. Unfortunately, a myriad of injuries limited him for the next 3 years, and he was unable to repeat his early success. But he was still productive, exiting the college ranks with over 3,000 rushing yards and an NAIA record 76 touchdowns to his name. Unable to shed his injury-prone reputation, Montgomery fell to the 6th round of the 1977 draft, where he was taken by the Philadelphia Eagles, whose head coach was Dick Vermeil, with the 154th pick. Largely relegated to special teams as a rookie, Montgomery made an impression after taking a kickoff 99 yards to the house in Week 13. That effort earned him some extended run in the final week of the season, and he did not disappoint, rushing for 103 yards and 2 touchdowns, showing coaches he could handle a feature role. He further rewarded their decision early in his second season, with a 4-touchdown performance in Week 2. Keeping the pedal to the metal, the young star finished the season with 1,220 yards and 10 touchdowns. For his efforts, he was named an All-Pro and Pro Bowler, and helped the Eagles end an 18-year playoff drought. They drew the Atlanta Falcons in the wildcard round, and the Eagles' outlook was promising after Montgomery's third-quarter touchdown put Philadelphia up 13-0. However, things would go awry, and Atlanta would mount a triumphant comeback, scoring 2 times in the final 5 minutes of the fourth quarter to secure a 14-13 victory. The loss, while painful, would serve as a building block for both Philadelphia and Montgomery. In 1979, Montgomery set career highs in nearly every category, finishing the year with over 2,000 yards from scrimmage, 14 total touchdowns, and another All-Pro and Pro Bowl selection. The Eagles finished 11-5 and earned another wildcard berth. Behind Montgomery's tough running, Philadelphia grinded out a second-half comeback against the Bears, scoring 17 unanswered points after being down 17-10. Unfortunately, they would run out of steam the following week and lose to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the divisional round, 24-17. With much of the roster still intact, the Eagles would take yet another step forward in 1980, winning 12 games and earning a first-round bye. However, Montgomery's huge workload had began to take its toll, and he had been limited by injuries throughout the year. He missed 4 games overall and was in rough shape heading into the postseason. Recognizing his importance to the team and how rare the opportunity ahead was, Montgomery fought through the pain and suited up for the divisional round against the Minnesota Vikings. He mustered up 100 yards from scrimmage on 28 touches and 2 touchdowns, the second of which was a go-ahead score in the third quarter, giving Philadelphia a lead they would not relinquish. While Montgomery's heroics were commendable, they came at a cost, as he came away from the game ailing, and there was serious doubt that he'd be able to go against the vaunted Dallas Cowboys in the NFC Championship game. As much as he wanted to just will his way through the pain like he had done so many times before, this instance felt different. A sore knee and a bruised thigh prevented him from practicing much, and he waited all the way until pregame warm-up to make a decision on his availability. Things went well, and he decided to give it a go. Many expected Philly to once again come up short against a Cowboys team that had largely had their number up until that point. But Montgomery had other plans for his squad. On the Eagles' second snap from scrimmage, he erased any concerns about his health after ripping off a career-defining 42-yard touchdown that set the tone for the afternoon and ignited the home crowd. With the frigid weather making it difficult to throw, Philadelphia leaned into Montgomery and the running game. 26 carries and 194 yards later, the Eagles were Super Bowl bound for the first time in franchise history. Unfortunately, they would come up short against the dominant Oakland Raiders team, 27-10. but Montgomery once again left everything out on the field, producing 135 yards from scrimmage. He healed up before the following season and churned out another 1,923 yards from scrimmage, along with 10 touchdowns. But the Eagles were bounced in the wildcard round against the Giants, a game in which Montgomery's 2 second-half touchdowns gave Philadelphia a fighting chance after being down 27-7 coming out of halftime. Sadly, this would be Montgomery's final playoff appearance as a player. He enjoyed 3 more solid years in Philadelphia before joining Detroit for one final season in 1985. He finished his career with 6,789 rushing yards, 2,502 receiving yards, and 58 total touchdowns. He also left Philadelphia as the club's all-time leading rusher and ranks second in rushing touchdowns, trailing only legend Steve Van Buren. Years after retiring, Montgomery was approached by his former head coach, Dick Vermeil, to see if he'd be interested in joining his coaching staff in St. Louis as a running backs coach. Montgomery obliged and flourished, helping develop future league MVP Marshall Faulk and a young Steven Jackson, who went on to become the all-time leading rusher in Rams history. Montgomery won a Super Bowl with the greatest show on turf and captured a second title as a running backs coach once again with the Ravens in 2012. An underrated dual threat, many folks think of Marshall Faulk or Priest Holmes when they think of a prototypical Dick Vermeil running back. But long before them, there was Wilbert Montgomery. I want to thank you for watching, and I would love to hear your thoughts on Wilbert Montgomery.